Hello.
Hello. Welcome back to Joker TV coverage of Athfest 2020. I am Akeem, aka DJ Blackstar, and to my left I have one of my lovely friends. But I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, Queen. Tell them who you are.
Yeah, y'all. I'm Ansley Stewart, Athens native, but have been in Atlanta now for, oh my God, almost 10 years.
Oh my God, it's been that long?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Coming back to play our first Athfest.
Again, shock.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. What time y'all performing?
We are playing main stage at 4:15 today.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Y'all got plenty of water, right?
Oh my God. I don't think there's enough.
We can. You know, Athens got the Waterman, right? So Waterman
can deliver.
Yeah, Waterman deliver on set because it's
yeah, toasty.
Yeah, very crispy.
Toasty.
Crispy.
Yes.
All right, so I'm really shocked that it's y'all first time performing for you to be an Athens native.
Yeah,
that's wild.
I know. I think I'm trying to remember if I sang with anybody or did any guest spots, but probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a headliner, it's our first time.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for you though.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm proud of you though.
Thank you.
Yeah, as a friend, because we was talking earlier about Kishana and Betsy.
Yes.
So back during my radio days, y'all was all at the station.
Oh my gosh, so fun.
Yeah. So fast forward to now. It's beautiful, to see that. Yeah. So how you feel going into it being your first, what the spotlight is on you this time?
Yeah. No, I the songs that we are playing. Well, first of all, my band is just smoking hot. Yeah. They're unbelievable musicians and friends, and I'm really proud of the music that we're actually putting out. Mm-hmm. So we just released a single called Morning Birds, and we've got a bunch more in the can coming out throughout the year. Right. And it's just, I don't know, it's morphed into something really special and developed into that. So to play this particular show at home, mm-hmm. I'm stoked for people to see it, for us to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically like a homecoming of sorts, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I know, like I said, we've known each other for years.
Yes.
Basically. And then for you to be, because you perform Kishana and a few others.
Yeah.
So what's been the process from you basically just going solo? Mm-hmm. What's been the process for you going into that?
Yeah. So when I lived in Athens, I was working at the University of Georgia and then doing music part-time. Right. So almost a decade ago, I was I really want to do music full-time. So I moved to Atlanta and did, played with various bands there. Yeah. And then just over the years, my, artistic development was really important to me in writing songs. And it's that's all within the last 2 years, I would say that's all kind of really become glued mm-hmm. together with our band and the music. I finally feel like myself as an artist in terms of the music that I'm putting out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the most important thing, where you want to be able to not feel like you're running on the coattails of somebody else, or I sound like this.
Right.
No, this is me.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, because and especially as vocalists, people identify you with what is familiar to them.
Right.
So it's oh, you sound like so and so, or you sound like so and so, and I think I got kind of caught up in that. Understandably so. For years, it's oh, well, if I sound like so and so, then I guess the music that I create should be like that. Mm-hmm. And what that might have been a subconscious thought. Yeah. But so it's definitely taken some time to be well, what do I sound like? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think, like you said, that's an important thing to as a vocalist, because even in Atlanta, mm-hmm. you have so many different vocalists and musicians, and
totally,
where they sound like this person, but right. Or they remind you of this person as far as their aesthetic or just their voice. But I think more anything else, it's just the songwriting, the lyrics. Mm-hmm. It should be your own,
right?
So
absolutely.
So with the release, with Morning Bird and the upcoming releases, what's been the influences, in the songwriting process? What's that been like?
Well, I think an overarching idea of just I want this music to be fun, mm-hmm. even if it's serious. I want it to have movability, and then our process has kind of been, I'll come up with the nugget of lyrics and a melody and maybe a basic chord progression, and then the guys just completely beef it up in this beautiful way musically, mm-hmm. figuring out cool instrumental sections and things like that. And so it's kind of just taken on a life of its own as mm-hmm. far as the process. And then I feel like this specific group of people, like we have a very specific sound because of who we are as individuals, and then our cross sections of like the music that we share that we like, you know, like as a group, but then also our individual influences. Like everybody kind of is coming from a little bit of a different musical training background. So that's super cool.
Everybody's putting their own little spice like to a base. It's like a crock pot basically. Yeah. You're just putting your own little sprinkle
that's
and
it.
whatnot too, and
just
making
let it marinate.
Exactly. Yep. Slow cook it.
Yes. Yes.
So after this homecoming performance, so what's next after this?
Yeah, so we've got a July residency at a venue in Atlanta called From the Earth Brewing.
Okay.
And it's super cool. It's in Roswell, and Tim Stevens, who owns it, is a big fan of music. He is a big supporter of music, and we have done 2 of those. We did one in November of last year and then in February. So we're basically doing 4 Thursdays starting July the 11th. So 11, 18, 25th, and then August 1st. Okay. And so we will be playing mostly our originals for that. And that's been a very cool scene to kind of build, and people know that we play there. And Tim, I just can't say enough wonderful things about him and his establishment. And like the food and beer are great.
Of course.
You know, obviously
hydration,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
being well fed. That's cool.
So yeah, so we've got that, you know, as far as live gigs coming up. And then we are planning on releasing at least one more single this summer, and then hopefully getting our EP finished out in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we were talking about when you made the move like to Atlanta. Like I said, shock to me.
Sure.
So with people always talk about how Atlanta, it's a music city basically, but I've started to see live music being put out in other sectors like of Atlanta, you know, like in Roswell, like or in Marietta. So do you feel there's some people feel there's like an oversaturation of music where people can't, you know, shine in Atlanta? Do you feel that way, or how? Because you being in there for 10 years, like how has that journey been coming from Athens, like to there?
I mean, I honestly have found it easier in Atlanta because just of the size, you know. So I love Athens. Athens has my heart. I actually grew up in Athens too, but I found Athens to be a little harder because of just it being small. Yeah. So you know, in Atlanta you just have like a higher quantity of places to play. You have you know, you can make a living as a musician. Like you can. So I have found a really amazing community of musicians there that and it being a southern city that you can get to places. I mean, it's expensive, but at the same time,
like, don't get it twisted.
Right.
It ain't cheap.
Yeah, no, it ain't cheap. But compared to a New York and LA, even Nashville, like it's still, you know, fairly reasonable.
Right.
But I think Atlanta, you know, it produces a lot of different music. I think you're able to like get weird and be experimental, you know, similarly to Athens. You can do that here too. So it's a cousin of that for sure.
And I think you mentioned too, like, you know, with that space, like you mentioned too, that you're doing a full-on residency with, there are more spaces that are open and receiving of live music that have a love for it and willing to pay for it, mind you. Yeah. I think that's the other thing too. You're starting to see more spaces opening up to where live music is like, yo, we want to bring you here. Yeah. And I think it's also up to the artist to go out and seek that too and create those opportunities. I think that's the most important thing with anybody. It's like, you know, you want to be able to create those opportunities for yourself. If no one is able to, you know, at least give you like a reference or something, like just go out there and just look and find it.
You've got to, I mean, in this day and age, like, you know, with I feel like how the music industry is, like, unless you are your own advocate, like nobody's going to do it for you. Right. So, you know,
I mean, I will.
Yeah. other than you. But, you know, it's like you have to be your own ambassador. You have to be your own manager. You have to be your own graphic designer. You have to do all that stuff. And I think like that can be, I mean, it's overwhelming for me a lot of the time, but, you know, because the whole story is like, well, you've got to figure out how to do it on your own before somebody's kind of interested in helping you do it.
Absolutely.
Like from a like leveling up standpoint, but that's also, you've got to be doing it because that's like, there's, what else would you be doing?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I can't imagine I don't know what else I would be doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here for the hard parts of it and the easy parts and the fulfill. But it's the overarching thing is like it's fulfilling. And this particular version of our band, it's like, man, the feeling that I have on stage with these guys is just like, oh my! I mean, I could just live there. Yeah. Like it's just it's
euphoric basically. Yeah. It's like it's because it lets you know that the journey that you've been on for so long, like this moment made it. Right. All the ups and downs and everything else is led up to this one where I'm like, yo, the destination is cool, but I had a hell of a journey. I had a hell of a journey. That's beautiful. That I wouldn't change anything. Otherwise, I wouldn't be at this point and just reveling in it. Right.
Well, and if you don't enjoy the journey, you're not going to like the destination. The journey is the whole. That's where where you grow and the data's are. So, yeah. It's good. Yeah. It's really good.
Absolutely. So where can people find you? Because they want to. I know I posted about your stuff on my socials, but I know where to find you.
So, Instagram, well, all my social media, all of my tags are Ansley Stewart Sings. So that Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, my website, Ansley Stewart Sings. That's easy. Try to streamline everything.
Consistency.
Yes. Yeah. Branding, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the thing. That's the hard part.
Exactly.
All right. So one last thing. So with you like traveling and whatnot too, like what is the one thing that you have to have with you? Or otherwise this trip or this journey is not going to go right whatsoever?
Honestly, probably either... I'm going to say earrings. I feel really exposed without earrings or like I wear a lot of just like gold chains and things. I feel like if I don't have jewelry, I don't know if that's like the Southern lady in me. I don't feel put together. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't feel put together unless I like have some bobs on or something.
Big old hoops.
Exactly. That's probably it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me. Okay. Usually folks will be like, no, I gotta have like this particular snack or I have to have this in my bag, but no. Big old hoops.
I'm a little bougie. I'm a little fancy. Yeah. I'm just leaning into that these days.
I mean, well, lean into it. Own it.
I'll wear a t-shirt and jean shorts, but I gotta have my red lipstick, which I don't have on now, but I will
it's
for
too
our
hot
show.
For that right now. Like, put like this. You don't want to come in right now and going through this interview, then you're just wearing it all the way until you go on. No. You just be like, bro.
I got a couple more hours to get myself together.
Yeah. I mean, if you wore it then right here and now and it stays, then you got some good lipstick. Because, like,
I do have the best lipstick on the planet. It's Laura Mercier, and it's like a kind of a crayon, and I'm able to put it on before a show, and it stays on all night.
So even while you're drinking water and eating everything like that?
It is. All I want is an endorsement. That's all I want because I need to advertise it more. But like
you should.
It's the only lipstick I wear. It doesn't move.
Wow.
She made a good product.
Yeah. So is it easy to take off though?
No. No, you have to have the right
moisturizer,
and then you sort of look like a Joker, ironically, until you wash your face.
Okay.
So the unveiling is not always pretty, but
but you got to tell folks. You got if you want people to endorse it, and they be like, "Oh yeah, Ansley Stewart said to get this particular kind of lipstick, but I wore it and I slayed it. Don't get it twisted. But you ain't tell me about how to take it off, so you got to make sure you got to let the whole journey.
You have to have all the tools for all that. Yeah, exactly.
You just can't get just the lipsticks. Like you got to get like the specific, like the whole regimen.
Exactly. So maybe, jewelry and red lipstick, probably I can't go anywhere without.
There it is.
Yeah.
Spoken from a true Southern belle.
That's it.
Well, Ansley, I appreciate you coming
Absolutely.
through.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I am legit proud of you.
Thank you very much.
And I'm looking forward to what you got going on. Yeah, hopefully we can finally do a show together at some point.
I know. At some point.
Yeah.
I know. Every time I'm like, the spring and fall get so bananas for me, but I'm still following along with what you got going on. Yeah, so we'll make it happen.
And likewise. Shouts out to Betsy Frank too, because she in that category too. So
Betsy and Kashana.
Yeah. Oh, and what happened to the side? Claire Campbell too.
Yes.
The side pieces.
I know.
That was the last time we saw each other.
I think we are, I believe, doing the Georgia Folk Festival. I think Betsy and Claire and I are at the end of September.
Oh, you heard it here first.
Yeah. So I'll make sure that's on my website.
All right. Well, Ansley, I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
You're awesome.
Cheers,
I love you to death.
You too.
All right.
Thank you so much. Right. Y'all have a great Athfest. Sweet.